Chris here with a portable projector that has really blown me away in terms of its image quality and really what it offers. It is the Nebula Capsule 3 laser. Now it's using laser tech instead of LED tech, and at the same wattage as say LEDs, it will be 1.8 times brighter. So the maximum brightness is 300 ISO lumens. It runs Android TV 11, a runtime of up to 2.5 hours. We have Type-C charging data as well with the correct adapter. You can run external pen drives, an auxiliary 3.5mm on it, and HDMI 2.1, so you can connect up consoles on this. And it's got this tiny portable size. You can pretty much take it with you anywhere, run this outside in the garden. That's the whole point, being a portable projector. Now with this model here, it's also got a built-in speaker. It's 8 watts, Dolby Digital Plus, and for the size of it, quite impressive. You can even run this model as a standalone speaker. So we'll do a bit of a comparison to the Capsule Max model here, and we'll see the differences between them with the Capsule 3 laser. In the box of the Capsule 3 laser, you'll find a 45 watt power supply. Now it comes with the EU plug on it, but there is an adapter for the UK plug, a Type-C to Type-C cable. Then we have our remote, our quick start guide, and 2 AAA batteries. So I love this compact small size of it. I mean, look how small it is, and later when you see the kind of image quality that comes out of such a small projector, it's pretty amazing to me. So down here we do have a camera that is used in conjunction with the autofocus, so it will read the readout on the screen and then focus itself, which is very handy. Now it does have keystone correction, and of course this is a laser projector, so it's not a LED one that you typically see with portable projectors. So it has a brightness up to 300 ISO lumens, so it's very bright, and we have 8 watt speakers built in within it, and I'll give you a sample of them later on in this video of them. So up here at the top, we do have 2 fans. So there's a larger fan at the top and then one down the bottom. Of course, that laser does need to be cooled, and you will hear it a little bit if you're right next to it, but normally with the speakers on, you don't actually hear anything. So we've got Type-C here, Type-C port, that if you use an adapter will support external file storage. We've got HDMI 2.1, so yes, you can input 4K into this, so it could be 4K 60, but then it will project at 1080p 60, and auxiliary out right here. Our power on button with the status LED. We've got infrared there for the remote, and this here is a pairing button for Bluetooth, which it does also support. So you can just use it as a standalone Bluetooth speaker, which is handy. Down the bottom, we've got a nice rubber foot on the bottom of it, so it sits nice and sturdy, and then we have a standard mounting point there. So you can easily place this on a tripod or have it mounted on a ceiling if you wanted to do that. You've got that option, which is, again, good to have the options there. Now, up the top here, we do have some touch controls. So they're a little hard to see because it's not powered on at the moment, but when I do power it on, you'll see that they light up, okay? And we've got the volume up and down and all the controls right there with the OK. So you can use this or the remote and even the application too. Compared to the Capsule Max, which is here on the right of the screen, you can see it's quite a bit smaller. This one is more portable, similar design to them. The Capsule 3 laser, of course, being laser, 1080p, and this is LED, and it is 720p with 200 ISO lumens versus 300. So it's sharper, better resolution, and brighter with the Capsule 3 laser. And you'll see at the back, they have the similar setup there too with the inputs. And you've got the Type-C port, and you have USB with the Capsule Max. For this video with the Nebula Capsule 3 laser, I'm using it on a dedicated projector stand here. Now, you can use the Capsule 3 laser anywhere on a table, just point it at a wall, and you don't have to use one of these stands. But I'm just using it for this video because I can actually angle it up here 45 degrees, which makes life a little bit easier. So the Capsule 3 laser has an autofocus with it. You've got keystone correction too. So to autofocus, very simple. Just press the button on the remote. You will see it then autofocus itself using that little camera down below. And then you can adjust the keystone here. So the keystone is just each of the 4 corners. So you can adjust that so it does then look correctly, and it just tells you to adjust it so that circle in the middle where it does say Nebula looks pretty much perfect. The Capsule 3 laser is running Android TV 11, which is the latest version. Security patch level is this month, November. There was a firmware update. So when you set it up, it's very easy. You can in fact use your phone to log into all of your accounts. You don't need to go through all that tiresome process. Makes it a lot quicker. Google Assistant support with it, and you can also just hit the microphone button and speak out your commands or search, and you'll see that these menus are very easy to navigate. Everything right here, the content. Now, I know this only has 2 gigabytes of RAM and just 16 gigabytes of storage, but for Android TV, it's actually sufficient. A quad-core processor that it has runs everything fine. It is quick and snappy. So you can see I've got Amazon Prime Video right here, and it will show a lot of that in the tab there, the content of it. You've got Google Play Store, of course, YouTube. Unfortunately, at the time of me recording this video here, we don't have Netflix support. So if you want Netflix, you are going to need to use an external device, plug it into that HDMI port there. So your apps, they're all loaded in here, as you can see. And I just wanted to point out that I have run this, which is DRM Info. It does have a Widevine Security Level 1 cert. So Amazon Prime Video is in full HD. Disney Plus is also full HD. So that is great there. And you can install various different applications. For example, MX Player, if you wanted to play some media files from external storage from that Type-C USB port, you can do so with that application. And onto Amazon Prime Video. So we'll just take a quick look at this. As you can see, the menu system here loads in very quick, and I do like the performance I'm seeing here. So it is quick, it's snappy. I can see when I scroll through this, none of the thumbnails there are missing. So that's great. It's not having any problems with them sometimes loading in slow, which I've seen on some other projectors and even some Android TV boxes. But no, that performance from the quad core does seem to be very good here. Now it's got a maximum speed of 1.5 gigahertz and combined with that 2 gigabytes of RAM. So quick test here, just to load an episode of The Expanse. We'll see how long it takes. Now I'm not going to edit this at all, so if it is slow, it's exactly what you're going to see. So I'll hit resume. And that is caching in. So normally a few seconds to start caching. And there we go, we are up and running here. And that is in full HD, I can see straight away. So it didn't start off in standard definition. So good quality, the blacks look very good on something like The Expanse, which is quite a dark sci-fi TV series there. It does look good. What I like about it is you don't see any noise or grain in the deep blacks here. Blacks actually look reasonably good here for a laser projector and a portable one at that. I mean, this image quality is excellent, but I'll get on to now a few more examples. And over to YouTube now. So this is a demo of 4K footage, which of course is scaled down to 1080p. And it looks really good. This is amazing. For a portable projector, I am really impressed with this image quality. I've got to say that it's probably one of the best. When the other ones are normally LED, they're normally LEDs, they're not using laser. So that quality looks amazing here. What I'll do is just skip ahead a little bit, get on to a different scene. This is, of course, bright colors right now. And that performance is excellent. Caches in very quick and quite detailed. Now, if you look really close at it, yes, you can make out like the pixels, the edges. But at normal viewing distances, where my camera is and where I'm looking from here, this looks quite detailed and sharp for 1080p. Very good. And I'm projecting, by the way, at approximately 80 or so inches. Where I am recording right now is in complete darkness. So what would happen if you had a bit of ambient light that was coming through? So I'm going to turn on now one of my studio lights, which is quite bright. This is 100 watts. And you see that I'm not aiming it directly at the screen. This is still viewable, which is great. And it doesn't actually look too bad. I could happily sit here and watch this. But of course, in complete darkness, you're going to get the best absolute quality. So the colors are looking very vibrant here. They're rich. I love the detail. And as I mentioned with the blacks, we're not seeing that awful grain and noise that I have seen with some projectors. So just turning that light off again. That is our best image quality. Turn that ambient light back on. Not looking quite as good. And if I move the light around to shine on the screen, now this is very bright, mind you, you can see, yes, of course, it is going to affect it a little bit. But again, this is faring really well for 300 ISO lumens. I've now connected up my PlayStation 5 to it, so I wanted to test out, could it be used also as a gaming projector? Now, it automatically swapped over to it as soon as I had it plugged in and powered on the PlayStation 5 here, and it did end up going and selecting automatically HDR. So you can see I can adjust it right now here to make it brighter or darker. This is through the PlayStation 5, of course, but it is now running HDR 10 here, which was automatically selected. And so far it doesn't look too bad at all, but I'll jump into a game, which is Dirt 5, and I'll see if it's going to be playable, reasonable with our response times and input lag. The input lag is perfectly acceptable for some casual gaming just like this with Dirt 5. So I'm having really no issues with it, and it looks great. Brightness, super bright. Actually, this seems to be way over what I was expecting for a portable projector, this kind of brightness. But mind you, I do have it plugged in, so it's in the full 100% brightness mode. So that is, of course, the 300 ISO lumens here, and looking really good. So it can be used as a gaming projector on the go. If you bring along any console, anything, you can plug into it with the HDMI port. What about our fan noise? All laser projectors, all projectors do have fan active cooling. So inside here at the top, there's a little fan, and there seems to be one down the bottom too as well. Now, it's been working hard for about almost 2 hours, so I'll give you a sample of what you can expect from the fan noise here, but just to comment that it's very low, and when you're using the speakers, you won't even hear this fan. It is a little warm to the touch, that's about it. And of course, the 8-watt Dolby Digital Plus speaker that's built within it. Here is a sample of it. It's loud, it's got a little bit of bass, and for the size of this portable projector, I don't think it's bad at all, the built-in speaker. And now I've got both the Capsule 3 laser and the Capsule Max set up here for a bit of a mini comparison. Obviously, when you look at the images now side by side, there is a big difference. So it's not just the brightness. I'm seeing a lot more detail with my hand when looking at one of my videos here on the right image, which of course is the Capsule 3 Max. Now at this kind of distance, they're only approximately about not even a meter away from this white wall. You don't notice it too much, but the more you widen, or should I say enlarge the image, you will notice that difference there. It really comes into play. But of course, we've got the good runtime there with the Capsule Max, which is a lot longer. So I hit play on both of them, hopefully at the same time, and it's more or less at the same second, although it looks like I've got about a second difference here. So just play that for 1 second and hit play on both of them. Very hard to time this, but it's just to give us an idea here. As you can see with the image quality, it's just that brightness is the big thing. So much more brighter with the Capsule 3 laser, but the image quality of the Max too, I think is not bad at all. It almost looks too bright with the current settings with the Capsule 3 laser, but both of them very good. It really depends on the runtime. If you want the best runtime, the USB port that it also has a Type A, that's what the Capsule Max has. And of course, because it is a portable projector, I tested it outside. So I took it out into my garden in a terraced area that we do have with a nice flat white wall. And it was a perfect location to set up the Nebula Capsule 3 laser here. And the projected image was approximately around 80 inches. And we were all really impressed with the image quality. My wife was pretty much blown away with it, going, wow, it's just that little unit giving us that quality. And she made a comparison to say that it's even better than our TV, probably because of the size of it. But the brightness definitely there, and it was, of course, ideal conditions that I was testing out. It was around about 10 p.m. at night. There was no full moon or anything, so it was very dark, and it looked amazing. The sound was good, everyone was happy, we could all hear it. I also did test it out in the top of my stairwell, converting my stairwell, the back top wall, into a movie theater, and that was around about 120 inches, and still the image looked good. Really surprised by the quality that is coming out of this. Well, I mean, the laser quality is definitely helping versus the LED being brighter, but the image clarity and the blacks didn't tend to have really any noise to them at all. I took it a step further, which was a bit of madness, I know, but I projected it up against my entire side of my house, and even then, I was really surprised with the brightness and the image quality. I expected it by then at that distance to be a little duller than what it really is, and you can see from my footage, which actually isn't capturing it as good as it looked, I was really surprised by how it came out. I thought, wow, I can even project from this tiny thing right into my whole house. And then, oh, it was about 200 inches, which is well over the recommended. They say like 40 to 120 inches. So overall, it is an impressive little projector for, of course, the laser projection quality, the brightness, image sharpness, detail being full HD versus, say, 720p. Now, the Capsule Max, not to say it's a bad unit, it's quite good as well. I'm happy with this unit. It's got a really good runtime, and of course a smaller size, as you can see right now, much smaller than the Capsule 3 laser. And it will go for up to 4 hours versus the up to 2.5 hours. So there's a difference there. It still has an 8-watt speaker built into it. And the speaker quality, yeah, very good for the size. Now, when I gamed on it, as you saw from the PlayStation 5 footage, I didn't have any problems with the input lag at all. So when I was turning with Dirt 5 with the car, it went in time, it was fine. I didn't notice any massive lag, input lags there at all. So you can even do a bit of gaming on this. And of course, the big positive about this is you can take it anywhere, you can travel with it, perfect for camping or anywhere. Maybe you went into some sort of hotel or lodge or something and they didn't have a very big TV. You could set this up against a wall and away you go. As long as they've got white walls as well, would definitely help. So great little unit. The only thing for me is the Netflix support isn't there at the moment, which is a bit disappointing. So for Netflix, I have to use an external device. I tried to run it from installing an APK file, but it just kept locking up on me. So I do hope with a firmware update, Nebula can give us that Netflix support, because it does have the wide Vine level 1 cert. We've got even a security update and of course running Android TV 11. So thank you so much for watching my review of the Nebula Capsule 3 laser and a bit of a comparison to the Capsule Max.